We are now live here on Speak Life Television, and tonight we have an amazing woman of God that I'll be introducing, and she's also a part of the Healing Toxic Habits series and Healing Toxic Habits book. And she's a co-author, she's an author, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mother, she's an amazing woman. You guys are not going to even understand how many gifts she has in her belly. Y'all know how I talk. She has amazing gifts that God has given her in her belly, and tonight she'll be sharing with you. Those that don't know me, my name is Letitia Nicole, and I speak life. I'm the CEO founder of Speak Life Enterprises. I am also the author of Healing Toxic Habits, and I have 9 other co-authors in this book with me, and this book is so powerful. And I know when you read it, you say healing toxic habit, Letitia. I'm like, yeah, healing toxic habit. You may think it's cigarettes or alcohol or sex or something like that, but we're talking about anger, shame, doubt. We're talking about things that deeply rooted that make you do those other toxic habits. So without further ado, I just want you to see her beautiful face. I want you to see her smile that lights up a room. Katrina Harrell, are you there?
Hi, thank you for having me, sis. I appreciate it. And to everyone that's watching, I hope everyone is having a blessed evening or day or afternoon or wherever by the time you're watching this. I hope that all is well with you. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Well, you are beautiful. I just can't wait for them to hear your testimony. I can't wait for them to just get connected with you because you are like a breath of fresh air. You're just like this beautiful soul. And so I think it's a privilege and an honor even just to be in your presence tonight because I mean, just like I know Tashina Davis, she owns the publishing company where that publish our books, and I know she loves you just as much as I do, and because you're amazing. So I'm just gonna let them know a little, about you, and then I'm going away, and then y'all just gonna talk to Katrina.
Okay.
So Katrina M. Harrell. Katrina is the founder and CEO of Your Simple Bookkeeper and Company, and founder of Business Liberation LLC. Katrina's corporate background in finance and business development fuel her commitment to liberation and wealth through entrepreneurship and has been highlighted in Black Enterprise. Did y'all hear what I just said? She's been highlighted in Black Enterprise Magazine, 100 Urban Entrepreneurs, Black Business Women Online, and UNC TV, Black Issue Forum, and NFIB, Startup Nation, and many other digital and live establishments. She is the author of How She Got Free, a 5-step spiritual business manual for women who lead through entrepreneurship. She is the founder of, and please help me with this, um, Aramita. Am I saying that
Um,
right?
yep, Arminta. Yep.
Aramita, beautiful. A social impact strategy and business development nonprofit committed to incubating and developing women-owned businesses. Just reading your bio, honey, you get tired all the stuff you doing, honey. I'm trying to put these words into just this right here. You guys, I'm serious. All the words that I read, this really you would have thought that I've read like a whole giant page because that's how many gifts. I'm telling you, how many gifts she has inside of her. And without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Katrina, and she's going to tell you her why. She's going to tell you what she wrote about, and just give you snippets of it, and then you can find out how to get your book from Katrina. Katrina, back to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you again, Letitia. And I give all honor and glory to God, of course, and Creator. And I want to say that you may hear me use the word God and Creator interchangeably. I'm talking the same thing. It's just when I say Creator, oftentimes I think about I use Creator to put me in the mode of creation. So God is, and God is the ultimate creator. So I'll use the two words interchangeably, but I'm talking about the same thing. So with that said, everything that Letitia read in terms of my background or what I've done or have yet to do or am doing now, what I'm most proud of is just my journey of being a human being, a spiritual being in a human body. And the reason why I was so excited to participate in this project is because I got a chance to share and heal through writing. Writing is a way in which I heal. So even though my background is in business and development and entrepreneurship, who I am, I feel, is a woman on a journey of being and becoming her absolute best self and using the tools and gifts that God has given me to do that. So that can mean business, that can mean weight loss, that can mean anything, motherhood, that can mean anything. So why did I write this book, and what is my story about? I'll start there. When I was thinking about this chapter, when Letitia approached me with this book, I was kind of like, I don't know, healing toxic habits. I'm like, I was kind of torn, like, where should I go? And I didn't want to write fear or anything like that. I wanted to really think about this. So I'm a deep diver thinker anyway. So I thought about this for a while, and I thought about where I was at the time, and I thought about my testimony. And I remembered, kind of what led me to realizing that it was time for me to lose some weight, some physical weight and emotional weight. And what started me there was about 4 years ago. I was 350 pounds, about 100 and so pounds heavier, a little over 100 so pounds heavier than I am now. And I was in a relationship and in a space, I should say, where I just was not happy. Right. And even though that sounds kind of like, we all get unhappy at different points in time, but this was not just an unhappiness in the moment. It was a feeling of, this is not where I'm supposed to be anymore. It was a really profound feeling. And taking the leap to make changes was not something that came lightly. It wasn't, okay, let me just, I don't know, let's go to counseling, or let's go to Weight Watchers. It wasn't that anymore. It was like, something needs to shift, something needs to break off, something needs to be new. There's some repetitive pattern that's happening and going on in my life that it's just not working anymore. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but we all get to that point at some period in our lives. And I got to that point about almost 5 years ago. And so I knew that I was not charged with just, again, doing a quick cut, like a quick fix. I knew there was something profound that needed to happen. And so I started to do some deep diving. And I started to dig a little bit deeper, asking myself questions, praying, meditating, and discovered that there were some patterns and things that I was doing over and over again that just wasn't working. And I was faced with the decision to either stay comfortable and to continue with maybe some patchwork to kind of make it work. And in the book, I talk a lot more about exactly what was going on within my relationship at the time and where my headspace was. So I was faced with, do I continue with this and just make it work for the sake of the kids? Or do I continue, or do I just accept my body the way it was, and just, whatever? Do I continue on because the recognition of what it would take to change was so great that I had to either decide to keep going or confront it. And I made the decision to confront it. I made the decision that I was uncomfortable where I was, and there was something else and somewhere else I needed to be. And in order for me to go there or be there, I needed to confront myself. And so my talk tonight and the chapter talks about healing through confrontation. It talks about avoidance and avoiding rejection. And so I'll kind of keep going from there. And I'll backtrack a little bit. So, well, actually, that's not backtrack. I'll fast forward. Healing is an ongoing journey. You know, if anyone follows me on Instagram, my Instagram is Belu Sage, and Letitia put it in the chat at some point, I'm sure, and share, or I will too. I'm very transparent and open about the healing journey. To me, the healing journey is a journey. It's not a one and done thing. It's not you can be, happy and go lucky today, and then tomorrow be hit with something and recognize there's something else that needs to change. And when we have those moments, we have an option. We can be comfortable with where we are, like I said, or we can decide that we want to delay the gratification of the comfort that comes with right now to want what's best for us in the future. And so for the past 4 years, and every single pound that I've lost has been connected to some emotional thing that needed to come off of me. Up until like yesterday, like today's the 18th, so like 5/17, I'm still, being approached with things and confronting things that I have to decide. Do I want to have the courage to change, or do I want them to stay the same? And so let me just think here. I don't want to tell too much about the book. I want you to get the book to read it, to hear the entire story. But I will pose a question. Are you comfortable where you are? And this is a rhetorical question, so I'm not going to wait for anyone to answer right now. But are you really happy where you are right now? Do you feel like you're experiencing or are in the pathway to your ultimate joy where you are right now? And if you can't answer yes to that question, the next question I will ask you is, are you afraid of confronting yourself? Healing can only happen through self-confrontation. Being willing to look at some of the patterns, the things in which you do, the people that come into your life, the people that you attract that come into your life are reflective of how you see yourself. They're reflective of what you're putting out there and what you believe about yourself and what you think is best for you, what you think is good for you. So I would ask myself those questions. Are you happy? And do you feel like you're experiencing ultimate joy? And if you can't say yes to that, I will begin to look at some of the patterns in which that are taking place in your life. Letitia, you have any things coming up for you? Any questions popping up on your end? I can keep going talking. I just wanted to.
You know what? You are such an amazing job. And we got a little feedback. We didn't have that before, but you're doing an amazing job of telling about your toxic habit, but not really telling about your toxic habit. And I think it's imperative that everyone understand that the toxic habit that she's referring to is either fear, shame, anger, or guilt. These toxic habits bring on the other toxic habits. As you hear, you have lost so much weight, and it's just like not a physical weight, but a spiritual weight, right? So I want to say, tell them how you begin your journey of losing the weight.
Yeah. So again, like Letitia was saying, we're talking about fear, guilt, shame, as the main kind of habits. And I connected that to the fear of self-confrontation. So to circle it back, for those who are kind of taking notes and wanting to kind of, connect this talk to the book, we're talking about the fear of self-confrontation. So a very specific fear of not confronting yourself. And so for me, being a woman at the time that was, significantly overweight, though I could have, and I had it many times again, had decided that I would just accept it the way it is, and I can be cute, and I'm all for that. Don't get me wrong. You love your body the way that it is. I'm totally not against those who love their body big or small. But for me, I knew that the weight was reflective of something else that was going on inside of me. I think I need to look at the camera. The weight was reflective of something else that was going on inside of me that I was afraid to confront. And so I took the approach of identifying the pound, the weight that I was carrying, as it related to the relationships that I was in, the relationships with family members, the relationship with my partner at the time, my relationship with my children, all of that, and my relationship with myself and where I was going. In short, I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. I felt suppressed. I felt like I wasn't myself. And when I looked in the mirror, I felt like I was running on a treadmill that was going absolutely nowhere. And that's how I felt ultimately. I was a speaker, an author, I was a business coach, a consultant, I was on my own business. I was doing well outwardly, but internally, to me, it didn't feel like it was making it, it was making any sense to me, because when I looked at myself, I didn't see Katrina. I didn't see who I really felt, who I was being celebrated as. And so the weight loss journey first took me, before I even decided to change my eating habits. I didn't change my eating habits for like a good 6 months to a year. I ate the same, but what I did for the first year was I began to pray. I began to pray a lot. I began to meditate a lot. I began to journal a lot. I began to pay attention to different thoughts that I was having. And then my relationship with food. I love milk, I love juice, I love, just to eat, right? And I still love food. But I started to pay attention to, if I felt sad today, what would I pick up? If I felt, stressed out today, what would I do? And, my portion sizes. And I decided one step at a time to make small changes. The first change I made was just drinking water every day. I just got rid of milk and juice, and I drank water. And to not even get all in depth into the weight loss process, the point of the matter is that I wanted to feel good. And I started to look at and confront, healing through confrontation. I started to look at and confront every single decision that I was making. So many of us are afraid to do that. Many of us pray for change. Many of us ask God, or we ask of ourselves, and we want so much for things to be different, but we don't want to do what's required and what's necessary to change, because we are afraid of confronting the truth about ourselves. The moment we get confronted with the truth of your own fear, your own sense of shame, your own inadequacies, your own insecurities, right? The first thing most people want to do is blame somebody else for the problem, or put it on your husband, or put it on your wife, or put it on your job, or put it on social media, right? It's everybody else haters. No, it's you. It's all you. It's all about you. So if you're struggling with anything, it's all about you. I was just talking with a friend earlier today, and I was telling them they were feeling some type of way about their position they are in their work. And I said to them, this is not about them. This is all about you. You got to look at yourself and confront yourself. Self-confrontation is how we begin the process of healing. I believe self-confrontation is the first step in helping you heal anything. I believe that the first step in being able to change anything is to first being able to recognize it and confront it, and to know that and give it a name. If you're not able to or willing to give something a name, you're not going to change it, period. And so, that's the journey, and you can apply that to anything. The fear of self-confrontation, the ego that runs amok in us, that wants us to stay comfortable, that doesn't want us to be free for real, that doesn't want us to have what we are, that doesn't want us to have or desire what we deserve. I was faced with that today. I was face to face today with recognizing a pattern that I was repeating over and over again in the context of relationships. And I'm going to be transparent here, and it's okay for me. I'm free today, so I'm good. So in the context of relationships, I was thinking about, come on, God, thank you, Lord. I was thinking about the types of individuals that I've been attracting. Not bad people, not anything negative, but still something kind of missing. And I was wondering, well, what is that? Why can't this happen? Or what is keeping certain things from going to the level that I may think it should? Or why is there a disconnect, right? And I recognize through the help of having, obviously the ability to confront myself and having people and friends that can show me myself, I recognize that, well, I want the comfort of the familiar. The reason why I'm continuing to attract certain type of people, a certain type of person, is because it's comfortable for me. It's comfortable. And that feeling of comfort comes from a space of fear of not wanting to go into the unknown, not wanting to go into the unknown of allowing something different and allowing something new. So I know, and a lot of us may know very much so, that we deserve everything, especially if we are people of faith and we believe in God. We know we deserve it. We know God says we deserve all of these things. We declare, your worth, your value. But then when you get behind closed doors, you secretly don't really desire it. What you secretly desire is what you're comfortable with. And how you know that's true? Because what you do is reflective of what you believe, not what you think. What you think is the first thought, right? But it's those deeper thoughts. What you do, how you act every day, is the reflection of what you absolutely believe. And watch yourself, confront yourself, pay attention to yourself. What you do is reflective of what you truly believe. Who you are attracting, the patterns in which and how you behave towards a person is reflective of what you believe. No matter how many positive spiritual songs, affirmations you may listen to, how many times you may pray, if that stuff is not sunken down in you to the point where it's now changing your actions, you will continue the same pattern of fear, of comfort, of staying right where you are. And the world outside of you is going to reflect exactly what you believe about yourself. And that, that can be applied to so many things throughout your life. Healing is like, it comes in layers, right? Like I feel like I heal so many layers. And every time I get to a new place in life, it's like, bam, another layer, like, oh. But the dope part about it, like I said, is I don't run away from it. I confront it, because when it comes, here's the thing. I really do desire what I deserve. I desire what I deserve so much. I chase after what I deserve so much that when I see what I think I want and it's not showing up as what I deserve, I go, wait a minute, God, what's going on with me? What do I have to heal now? What are you telling me to confront in myself right now so that I can heal it, so that I can get closer to what I deserve? I don't know if anybody is catching this or not on the replay or not, but if you're catching it, please inbox me, Letitia, say something to let me know that this is resonating with you in some sort of way. Or if you're not getting it, we can talk deeper about it too. You can inbox me, we can keep talking about it, but definitely get the book so you can read the stories as well. But that said, we have to, I don't know how much longer we're going to be on here, Letitia, but I can talk about this for another hour. Just understanding and trusting yourself and trusting God and confronting yourself to want to desire what you deserve. So let me break that down, right? We know, right? And oftentimes we pray, God, give me the desires of your heart. Fill me with what I deserve, right? We know we deserve to live a wealthy life. We deserve to be healthy. We deserve to have healthy relationships and healthy children and powerful businesses and great career. We know that we deserve to have God's riches. We know what Psalms 139 says, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and God has created us and knitted us in our mother's womb. That's my favorite chapter in the whole Bible, actually, Psalms 139. We know this, so we know that we were born deserving, right? God's best, right? But in the human world, because of everything that we may go through, the way we were raised, what our parents didn't do, what they did do, what the church didn't do, what they didn't do, what society did or didn't do, we shape this new identity of ourselves that makes us feel like we aren't deserving of it. we put on this fear coat, this coat of fear, this coat of shame, this coat of guilt, this coat of, you name it, we put it on, and we spend the rest of our lives fighting. It's like our spirit and our flesh are like fighting each other. The flesh, the ego self is saying, stay comfortable, stay safe. As soon as something happens, let's say abuse happens, or you lose your job, or you fail your marriage, we get afraid, and then we begin to it starts to knock down on our sense of self-worth. I went through that for about 4 or 5 years. Backtrack, about 10 years. I went through that feeling of my sense of self-worth just started to diminish, and I became more and more afraid of who I am. So even though I would say out of my mouth, I know I deserve this, secretly I didn't really believe that I deserved it. I didn't think I was good enough for it. What I knew when I felt I was good enough for was what I was comfortable living in. I was comfortable living in this space. I'm comfortable today being a person who loves to give. I can give, and give love and share love. And I mean, you don't even have to say 2 words to me and I'm ready to love up on you. That's just how I am. And love. I give. And it hit me that giving, though it's wonderful and though it's good, is a sign of fear when it prohibits and inhibits me from receiving love in return. So I can give love to a person with no problem, but as soon as somebody wants to give love back to me, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. So my sense of self-worth, so I know I'm deserving, because that's what the word says, right? And I know it to be true that I deserve to have love and the riches and all of this stuff, but my habits, my fear habit,
Go on and tell the truth.
of,
Go on.
my habit of being afraid and my habit of being used to giving and being in that space of feeling like I'm not worthy unless I'm given to you. I'm not worthy unless I'm given to you. I'm not worthy unless I'm giving to you. That's a fearful habit, that my self-worth at the time is based on what you're getting from me. A one-sided thing. Because of that, prohibit me from having what I actually deserve. And I wouldn't desire it. I wasn't really truly desiring what I deserve. I actually rejected it. So I don't know, you want me to stop right here, Tisha?
I don't want you to tell the whole story, honey. Y'all gonna have to buy this book here. Y'all gonna have to get. I mean, I know I want you to connect with Katrina. She's amazing, an amazing woman. But you're gonna have to get this book, Healing from Toxic Habits, because I know it's resonating in your spirit of all the things that she's speaking about. Giving yourself so much because you are too afraid to feel love yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Allowing yourself to eat and eat and eat until you don't even want anyone to love you. So you're gonna allow yourself to get really big so nobody can, what you don't think. See, she's saying something right now that I know that's resonating in your spirit. And it may be the toxic habit of fear, guilt, shame, doubt, whatever it is. I want you to contact Katrina. I want you to ask her, how can you get this book from her? How can you get this book from her? She's a co-author of Healing Toxic Habits, and her chapter is amazing and breathtaking and will allow you to heal your toxic habit. So, Katrina, can you please let them know how to contact you?
Yeah. So Facebook.com/Katrina M like Mary and Harrell. So we'll type it out there, but it's Katrina M like Mary Harrell. And you can also find me on Instagram, which I'm on Instagram like more than I am on Facebook. And Instagram is Belu, BELUSAGE. Or you can look up Katrina M. Harrell. Both will get you to find me on Instagram. But please connect with me there, and yeah, confront. You have to be willing to confront yourself, to tell your truth about your own madness. As my friend Akila said, your own madness. You have to confront your madness. You have to, because we all crazy a little bit, and we repeat those patterns. If we don't find ourselves willing, being courageous enough to say, what's going on with me? You know, am I really desiring what I deserve? And you won't know that unless you're willing to face yourself. So
That's good.
that's all I got.
The surprise I want to have for you tonight that I actually met with my business manager, D'Angelo, on tonight, and we're actually um, getting together our book signing here in Durham, North Carolina. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. And then our after book signing toast at Dubai Live, which is Tiffany, attorney Tiffany Russell. She's also a co-author, but she has her own lounge. And so we're going to have our toast there on that evening. So I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see your beautiful face. All of you guys are invited. You'll get the information soon. And thank you so much, Katrina, for gracing us with your beautiful presence. Thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
much. You are so welcome. We love you guys again. On tomorrow, we'll have us another amazing. I'm lying on Monday through Thursday. We'll have more co-authors, and you can join us. And you can also, if you would like to speak and tell your story, because all of us can tell our story, so God can get the glory. So you can reach me at letitianicole.com. Thank you so much. Be blessed.